Hello. We are live from City Market.
Three Ks.
3K
Three
City
Ks.
City
City
Mark
Market, three
KKKK.
Ks.
First thing I want to say is we did not get permission to be here. This is not something
No.
that
No.
same thing as last week. This is not something that the city designated or the city said we can do. This is something that we took and we did on our own. First thing I just want to talk about is last week, the first City Market, there was a lower police presence. There was maybe like 6 cars or something like that.
Yeah.
But then now that we here, you're looking nervous. You
No, I
looking
was trying to think
okay.
about putting one of the signs
One
on
of the
on the
signs?
back of the truck. That was one of the things we talked about. Bobby's talking about having a sign.
Oh yeah.
Next week, another week.
Another week.
We
So
got
go-
time. It's
we
week
got
2.
time.
Long season.
I don't know if they can hear you. I think they can.
They can.
Yeah, they can hear you. Okay. Share this live. But this week we have seen an uptick in police presence, an uptick in metro enforcement agents out here. And if you didn't see the live from earlier, we just had a little brief interaction,
Yeah.
with the metros. Seems like while there is a heavier police presence here, it seems of like a very
Hands-off week.
hands off, really real. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
What do you did you ever think that we could be right here set up like this?
Well, yeah.
Last year at the end of the last City
year.
Market, did
Like
you
with a
ever
table?
think
No, I wouldn't have
did
thought
you
we
ever
would.
think that we could be set up here like this?
I definitely didn't think at the end of last year we would be sitting here with a table in the street because the street was still open for business. However, I also didn't think from my small amount of time being around last week and then from the walk around I did earlier today, I didn't think that we would be able to be in this spot. If it would have been said to me earlier that we would be in this spot or be able to set up in this spot, I would have felt that it was some sort of an accomplishment in a way. A lot of part of this is trying to establish an area we can be in and then sort of occupy that area. I think that, however, because of the rain and the low turnout, it is a very low turnout. They are losing money by the second. They bleeding money. All the businesses that's on this street are bleeding money because the weather's not good out. And then since they got this street shut down like this, like how you can see all the way down through there, these businesses is bleeding money. But as long as the businesses are bleeding money in the interest of the city market community or the city markets, gain, then it's okay. But if these businesses were, say, losing money, or the claim was they were losing money because people were walking in the street and blocking the crosswalk, then they would bring out police and arrest people and use that narrative. But as we've seen that since it's advantageous for City Market to shut down this street so that way they can stop people from being down there and protesting, and that way they can stop people from using their rights to assemble. They have decided to shut down the street. And last week they said that the subway down there from 5 to 7, the subway said they sold one sandwich. I would think that from 5 to 7 they'd probably be lucky to sell a bag of chips today with the mix between the weather, and then the street being shut down. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're not selling no cookies today.
No cookies.
No cookies today.
And Tom don't care.
Tom don't care.
about your. Tom don't care. This has been the City of Rockford Public Works and the City of Rockford employees and City Market does not care about small businesses. That needs to be put out as a narrative. The same way they keep talking about or it doesn't care about local businesses. The same way they keep trying to make it seem as if protesters are trying to destroy local businesses or destroy small businesses, when in fact, in reality, it's just that we prioritize people and we prioritize humaneness and we prioritize people's rights and people's freedom above property and above profit. And as you've seen, the city of Rockford does put certain things over property. They put the image of City Market over these independent and small businesses being able to make money and these local businesses being able to make money. I'm sure Capri's business is down and people trying to come to Capri's or figure out how to get to Capri's got to do a whole bunch to get into the parking lot. The same thing for any of the businesses that's down in this spot. And so I think it's important that people realize that when you have certain things that are at the top of your agenda, when you have certain things that are priorities, you will be okay with collateral damage taking place in order to reach those objectives and in order to reach those goals. And that is not something that's foreign. When America has a specific interest, they are okay with collateral damage being done when they go overseas and go into other countries and continue imperialism. When the city of Rockford Police Department, for perfect example, when they feel that chasing somebody is what they need to do, when they feel like their priority is bringing somebody in, dead or alive, then they put people's safety that's on the street secondary and third, and the primary thing becomes the chase. And so they are okay with the collateral damage that may come from a car chase leading to an accident, or they're okay with the collateral damage that may come from shooting somebody in the middle of the streets in a busy intersection and a bystander getting struck by the bullet. And so we have to understand that when we combat these institutions, we have to know that if they are okay with certain things being done as collateral damage in order to reach certain objectives, we have to have that same mindset. And so again, I think this is a reminder that if the city of Rockford and City Market is okay with slowing down these local businesses and these small businesses in order to continue to push this mammoth of City Market, we have to be okay with local businesses that may be inside City Market or local vendors inside City Market not being able to make as much profit while we push the agenda of ending police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. There you go.
You know what we should do? Maybe if we can. I don't know if we can do this right now, but just take it and just turn it. Not turn it, but just so they can see that they closed this whole street down, but it's not for no businesses that are right there. They closed this whole street down, but there are not no businesses on these streets. They closed this whole street down simply because of us, simply because they try to make it harder for us to be here, simply because they didn't want us to be here, simply because they thought if they had made it as hard as they can, if they had shut down the streets, shut down bridges, shut down all this space right here, that would stop us from being here, that would stop our message, that they could silence us through these methods. I think I just posted this picture. Of the City Market signs they got up. It says, "Welcome to City Market." I don't know what it says. It says something over. It fell off.
It's diversity.
I was trying to read that. I was trying to read that. What's covered in them bars? I don't know. Join us in something, but it say community, small businesses, diversity, and Rockford. Then the next sign they got is the visitor policies. Rockford City Market visitor policies. No outside food or alcohol or alcoholic beverages. No pets. No soliciting, protesting, or politicking.
No politicking.
No politicking. Is Tom allowed to be in? No guns. No guns or weapons.
Except for the cops and metros.
What does that mean? Carry, park, or walk bikes?
Carry, park, or
walk bikes and skateboard. Oh, okay. Shoes and shirts required. Keep smoking at least 15 feet?
From market interest, yeah.
15 feet from market interest. Yeah. Metro's vaping over there.
Oh, yeah, it was
Metro's
Metro vaping. Metro's
yeah,
violating that.
Mm-hmm.
Metro violating
Metro's
that. He blew it right in the
that.
little baby face. That ain't, okay, he didn't do that, but
he
was vaping.
No, he didn't.
He was vaping.
He did not do that. That'd be nuts. If he just...
It was a lot of smoke. It could have reached. It reached a far range.
But specifically, they mark no protesting, something that or politicking. And that's something that that everybody has been. Tom's been talking about that. If anybody breaks any ordinance or law, they will be arrested. Yeah. And this is all because of us. Like there ain't no way to spread it. COVID was worse last year. COVID was worse last year.
No vaccine.
COVID was worse last year. There wasn't no vaccine, and they repeatedly said we can't shut down the street. We can't shut down the street. We can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible. We can't do it. Then next year coming around, they're preparing. They're trying to make as much money as they can. Yeah. Trying to make it protest free, including it in the rules. Yeah. No protesting allowed. And this I don't even call this protesting right here.
No, I don't. I think that one of the things that, and I'm sure that it'll be people who will have opinions about this, but one of the things that has been And again, we're very key on transparency. Is we're limited by what we can do with this. We're limited by what we can do by the ways in which police are being weaponized, the way in which charges are being trumped up. I don't think it's a coincidence that last week I was remanded when I had court before City Market. There's a very specific effort being put forth for them to keep the image of City Market very clean. One of the Metro enforcement agencies that came up and was speaking to us, a guy who was completely uninformed, don't got no idea what he's talking about. Intellectually incompetent, but he kept trying to talk about how he feels bad for the minority businesses and that are affected inside of here by us protesting. And then so I asked him about those businesses, where they were at last year, and he's like, "Oh, I wasn't here last year, so I can't speak on that." But it just shows you that even somebody with a low understanding at that level can at least reiterate this thing of 60% minority in women, or a majority of minorities being inside of City Market, and it lets you know that if the Metro enforcement agent, who barely is putting together a complete sentence, can find a way, and I'm not trying to be insulting or demeaning. I'm just trying to say how far they are pushing this line of minorities and women. If this guy who can barely put together a complete sentence can find a way to push this propaganda line of the City Market has a 60% minorities and women, it lets you know what it's being used for. I think that it's important that people understand that the reason they are having this many minorities and women vendors here is because last year people came out here to protest about issues that predominantly affect minorities, and then they assaulted those people, they falsely arrested those people, they weaponized the police against those people. Those people are still in the court systems, a lot of those people, and also because they seen that in his videos of this, that the people who frequent City Market engage in racist tendencies and racist activities. The people who are frequenting CJs engaged in racist activities and racist tendencies. And so in an effort to try to shift the conversation away from the racism in City Market, they have tried to engage all races, to try to get all races to be involved, and and so we have to understand that it does not matter if they have 100% minorities and women. I don't care if they go and find all the black people that have food trucks or vendors in Rockford and put them down there. It doesn't negate the fact that Kathy McDermott has continued to engage in racist microaggressions. It doesn't negate the fact that Todd Cagnoni, who has a heavy hand in this, has continued to engage in racist microaggressions. It doesn't negate the fact that the city of Rockford has on a consistent basis allowed police terrorism and mass incarceration to predominantly affect people people who are minorities, and they have done nothing genuinely to address those issues. None of those things are absolved because they put a bunch of black people with food trucks down there, put a bunch of black and brown people in canopies down there. The only thing that does is benefit the city, because now the city has the built-in argument, well, we can't be racist. We let black people sell food on the middle of the Market Street. We can't be racist. Black people are down at City Market. Kathy McDermott feels like she can't be racist because she's sitting in the rooms with black people and making these deals, and they are enabling her actions. And so I just think that as we go forward, as we continue to go through these weeks, as people continue to try to push this line of it being 60% minorities and women inside the City Market, and again, because every week in City Market won't be as dead as this is. Every week in City Market won't be as lack of heavy police handedness or lack of heavy handedness from the police as this one is. And so as we continue to go forward into these weeks, we have to understand what it is that we are going for, and we have to understand the things that are going to be tried to be used as storylines to try to affect that or hinder that.
And my fault. One thing that
Move his car for? Why you move your car? My fault.
One thing that I don't know, my fault. I got a little caught up in the comments. One thing that didn't really talk about or address is that I didn't think about is just the fact that why are we here? A lot of people who made a miss last year or coming into last year are just have more understanding of this, and now a lot of question has been raised that why City Market? Why this? Why this? Why this? I don't know if do you have a better answer than that? Do you feel like you're gonna get a good answer to that?
Okay. So first off, I would say that in 2019, it was estimated that over 100,000 people attended City Market or came to City Market throughout the season. So in 2020, if you are trying to get across a message about police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice, and you want as many people to hear the message as possible, you go to the place that the most people have frequented. So we went to the two most notable events that take place in Rockford, our Food Truck Tuesday and City Market on Fridays. And so initially, the reason that we went there was because of the amount of people that we believed would be there to get the message across to. The reason that we continued to go there after we went the first week for that specific reason is because our interactions with Kathy McDermott and our interactions with multiple of the people who came to frequent City Market, I said multiple men who were there drinking and walking up and engaging in, again, racist microaggressions. To me, both of those things let me know that this was a place that we should be at. One, because I think that you have to challenge people who have these ideologies. These racist ideologies should be challenged directly and should be challenged head on. Far too often in Rockford, you can just go through the social media comments and see that the position of power in this city is in the position of the people who are racist or the position of the people who are bigoted or prejudiced. And so I think that the way you start altering that is going to the places where they're at and making them uncomfortable in those places. So that was a reason we continued. And then also, Kathy McDermott did everything in her possible in her power the first week to violate our constitutional rights and to violate our rights to freedom of speech and the freedom to assemble. And so when we came back the next week, we wanted to make sure that she understood that she was not going to be able to hinder us from doing that what she did was not going to dissuade us. And then from that point forward, we were given a map, and from that map, we proceeded very much like how y'all did last week and how we have this week to try to figure out which things we can do inside the map that will keep people from being arrested or people from being assaulted, but also which things that we could do that would push the envelope and that would cause some type of disruption that would force people to pay attention to what we were out here for.
Just going back to how much they like to tout that diversity thing, how much they tout 60% minorities and women, a majority of women. The people making the most amount of money of that is like Peter Provenzano and Kathy McDermott. So it doesn't really, again, they could have 100% black-owned businesses right here. It would be Peter Provenzano that making the most amount of money. It goes back, I know we kind of bring this up a lot, it goes back to that Killer Mike episode that he had did, where you supporting black-owned businesses, but it's white people at the top making the most amount of money off that. One thing we have seen, just talking a little bit more about the city, is we have seen a little bit of a uptick in their preparations for this. We've seen them tear down the memorials three times just in preparation for this, tear down flyers just in preparation for this, wash away chalk in preparation for this. What do you and recently we saw them hand out city ordinance violations, 11 different counts of city ordinance violations for putting up memorials, just putting up memorials, pictures of young people who have been killed by the police, who haven't harmed them in any way, who haven't did anything to them. The way that they act and the way they treat these people and they treat these pictures and they treat their family members, you would have thought they had some long beef going back and forth. They had done horrendous things to them, but these are just people who have been killed by the police. Right. And through these city ordinance violations, these aren't something that we can go to jail for or anything like that. These are something that the city's trying to make money off of. The city's trying to make money off pictures of these young black and brown men who have been killed by the police. And Suzette Babler, my fault. And Joseph McCormick. Of these young people who have been killed by the police or have died in police custody. It almost feels like some of them have gotten settlements and they just trying to make their money back. Yeah. Like they just trying to make their money back off their pictures, still in their death. These people are being exploited by these city. Just putting up pictures of these people's faces is leading to them getting torn down, and the city thinking about and scheming about how to make profit off that, to make some type of money off that. And this is something. How many times? I think we're at 8 times. 8. You think so?
Well, I guess.
No, I think we counted that.
The police too?
Yeah.
8? Okay.
I think we counted that. 8 different times they have tore down
And
these
white
photos.
vigilantes have torn them
And
down. So
white-
we've had white vigilantes tear them down.
eight times the city of Rockford employees have torn them down. There have been some white vigilantes. Multiple white vigilantes.
White vigilantes.
Who have torn them down, stolen candles.
And not I was gonna say not the good white vigilantes like Spider-Man.
But this weekend is a busy weekend for us. We got a busy weekend. We got plans moving around. But we got plans Saturday, Sunday, and Monday a little bit. Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
More people. The sirens will be more useful. More people. That's what I really want to hit the sirens, but it's just not enough.
Not enough people.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, you can join us at.
It's 2.
It's 2? It's 2?
Yeah.
Join us at 2 p.m. at City Hall. We're going to be putting up Faustin Memorial, and
I guess
maybe we should put them all up at the same time.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
That'd be nice. Might as well.
But join us 2 p.m. right outside City Hall. We're in front. We're in the front now. And Sunday, we're going to be having a rally at Haskell. At 4? At 4, right? 3? Yeah, that's my fault. Rally at 3 at Haskell.
But you can come in 4.
On Sunday. But you can come at any time. Come at any time. The sooner the better, though. The sooner the better. What are your thoughts on how this weekend will go?
I think that the weather being nicer will bring more people out, and for us, I feel like we're in a place, and we've been again about open transparency. I think that we're in a place where, at City Market, if less people come out to City Market for whatever reason, because I don't have any desire for any of the people involved in City Market to have any type of success. I think that that's good, and so I think that this is a plus that we have from today, the small amount of people that's out here. I wish that we could have had more of a direct impact on the small amount of people that's out here. But again, it's a long season, a lot of more weeks to go, and how you doing? And so I think that we just have to, continue to be present. I think our presence here is enough at the moment. But as far as Saturday and Sunday and Monday goes, the weather's supposed to be nice. So hopefully that'll bring a few more bodies out. I think that the importance of May 30th, whether 5,000 people came or 50 people came, the importance of May 30th still stands the same in Rockford and resonates the same in Rockford. I think that one of the things that I've personally have learned through this time is that it's not about the immediate, it's not about the present, it's about building something for the future and building things for the future. And so I think that as long as we're going to be present on Sunday, it's a success. The same thing for Saturday. As long as we're putting up Faustin's Memorial, it's a success. As long as we continue to keep these memorials here, continue to not let this conversation be pushed to the back, it's a success. And I think the same thing. As long as we continue to highlight the hypocrisies, it's a success. And I think that on Monday, the Memorial Day Parade, I'm sure it's going to go straight down through East State Street, and we'll have signs and we'll have megaphones, and we'll be present. And I think that, again, our presence there will be a success. And we're getting to a place where the city is going to be able to start marking the time in which everything that happened in the city has some type of protest connected to it, or has some type of demonstration, or some type of form of assembly connected to it. And so I think that just our presence this weekend will be successful. So unless they come and arrest everybody at City Hall tonight.
It is a possibility.
That's a possibility.
And we are in a place where we can say that maybe jokingly, but maybe that there is truth to that. That is always a possibility that for whatever reason, the last time I got arrested is for allegedly knocking on windows. You twice knocking on windows. So they are not above any type of petty arrest. And while we're on that topic, we can talk about just some of the numbers of things. Where we're sitting at right now, it's been a year, pretty much a year since May 30th last year. It's been a year, and in that year, there's been 70 arrests. 70 arrests in total, and
Right. Yeah.
just and some of those arrests there are levels to some of those arrests. On May 30th, if you haven't seen any of the videos of that, I'd encourage you to go watch the videos of the brutal nature of a lot of those arrests.
Yeah.
And but one thing that I think we can talk about is the city wants. One thing that Tom wanted to get up there and talk about progress was the body cameras.
Yeah.
And the body cameras. Oh, look, we have body cameras. We're going to pay this much money to have body cameras. We need to train all our officers to have body cameras. But the problem that we have seen personally is, seen firsthand rather, is that the Winnebago County Sheriff's Department, they have body cameras. And the issue that we have had throughout all these court cases, through 70 court cases, 70 different, maybe not 70, 70 different court cases, that they don't turn over their body cameras. They don't. They turn them off. They hide them in their pockets. They do everything they can to, even if they do have video footage, they play games. There's people today still going to court who haven't gotten their dash cam footage or their body cam footage. So the body cams for the Rockford Police Department, that's not going to do nothing. They just not going to turn it over, just like the sheriff's done, just like everywhere else does, just like where everywhere else does. So I think it's important to just keep that in mind whenever Tom gets up there and talk, or anybody. It's full of half-truths. It's full of these nice words, and they'll make it seem like they're doing this big thing, and really they're not doing anything. Nothing's going to change. They're not invested in change. They're not planning for change. They're not wanting change. They're wanting more of the status quo, and things may change a little bit in tactics, but the overall system, the overall things, the overall oppression, the overall police terrorism in general, that won't change at all. It's just a change of little tiny changes that don't really change nothing. A little bit of nice words that don't really change nothing. Now, my fault. You want to hop in here? You got anything to say? You want to hop in at all? Go ahead. Come on. Let's get in.
I'm gonna do a lap.
You sure?
I'm gonna do a lap. They relaxing too much. I'm gonna do a lap. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do a lap. I'll be back.
Anybody else want to see? The seat open? Okay. We're shuffling things around a little bit. Okay.
Before you were talking about the citations for the memorials, and I just wanted to elaborate of how extreme it is. I was served with the paper, 11 counts, $750 per count. So for putting up the memorials, me and one other person got the same thing. So that's $16,500 for putting the memorials up once. So like, they're trying to make? You said they're trying to make money. They're trying to make a lot of money. Like yes. Not like not pocket change. $16,500 just for putting the memorials up once last Saturday. And on top of that, I already owe $4,500. Who knows how much Leslie is up to? He gets them the most for like storage on the sidewalk and all that. The one storage on the sidewalk, they gave us $3,000 for one occurrence. So I think he's like up to over 10,000, maybe to 15,000. So I think we're close to $35,000 that they have for these citations that they just make up. When you go to these hearings, you can put up a defense, but it doesn't matter what you say. They say liable every time. Every person I've seen go up in front of these hearings gets liable every time. Even the lady said, I wasn't there, I had nothing to do with it. Liable.
The demographics. What are the demographics like in there?
Well, they're almost entirely black. The first time you go, they extort you for small change. Like if you illegally parked or something on your own property, like in the grass or not in a driveway. You line up with like 20 other people on a Wednesday, and the times that I've been there, I've been the only white person. So you line up with a whole bunch of black people, and then they extort them. They say you either pay $50 now or $75 now, or you pay $500 or $750 later. And that's the first time. So then hardly anybody fights. So you're in line with all these black people, and they're like, I want done with it. I'll pay the $50, and then I won't have to deal with it anymore. But then, of course, this is, First Amendment rights here for us. So it's like, we're going to fight. Well, no matter what you say at the fight, at the hearing, they say liable. And the only way to fight it is to get an administrative review. And the administrative review is $300 a piece. So if I wanted to fight these 11 charges, I would have to pay $3,300 to the Winnebago court system to fight it in an actual court. Because at City Hall, these hearings, it's not a court. It's a kangaroo court. Every person there is an employee of the city of Rockford. The hearing officer is just a lawyer that's hired by the city. The person that acts like the prosecutor is just a lawyer that is paid by the city. All the witnesses are police officers that are employees of the city. And nobody gets a lawyer, because no lawyers will really do this, will go in there with you, because it's not a real court. They're in the bar, and they have rules, and they do real court. They don't do make believe. So you can't get a lawyer to go with you. So it's all, you have to represent yourself. And so they have you over the barrel from the get-go, and they just get to make it up as they go along. How much they charge you, they just make up, like us, like $3,000 for storing stuff on the sidewalk. $750 a piece for each pole for putting up memorials per person that helped put up the memorials. Like, I'm wondering, we're talking about putting up all the memorials tomorrow at 2. If we have 20 people putting up memorials, are they gonna give citations to 20 people, $750 a piece for 11 to 14? Because there's actually 14. I don't know if they know this, but there's actually 14 memorials, and they gave me 11 citations. So I don't know if that's the ones we're on camera, but like, if we have 20 people show up, are they going to charge those people, or just the people that are actively putting it on the pole?
What do you just go back to the kangaroo court in the city hall? You've seen some people be charged with weed. There's been some weed.
I haven't, but Leslie has. Mostly teenagers, it seems. They're like, supposedly weed is legal. We got a low battery. I think that those, that supposedly weed is legal, but there's ordinances against having it on school grounds still. So these teenagers are still getting harassed for having weed at school, or in a park, or but they get charged $500 by the city. Boom, liable, $500, 16-year-olds.
That just shows you how hungry. That just shows you how hungry that, like, the extreme that the city will go to try to silence the voices of concerned citizens about issues that are happening here in Rockford, Illinois. We are coming to the city officials because it's your motherfucking job. It is your job to listen and come with solutions to the problems of the people in your city. That's why you're elected, to take care of that. But you want to extort and discourage. You want to distort and discourage. Like, shame on the leadership of this city. Shame on them.
You good? You good?
Yeah.
Keep going? You want to keep going?
No, no, no.
Okay. I guess we haven't really talked about how last week went. As far as the actual city market, talked about what happened to Leslie a lot, but never really talked about the last city market. So we'll do this right here. The last city market, after we had gotten word that Leslie was going to be arrested, that Leslie had gotten arrested rather, and that was something that we knew was a very likelihood, that was a very real chance that would happen.
Remanded is the proper word.
Remanded, raise his bond, raise his bail. And so
Take him out the back door.
Take him out the back door. So after that was actually happened, you came back and you told us, and there was a thought process of, okay, first we need to get him out of jail, work on getting him out of jail, work on raising the funds so getting him out of jail. So first, take this moment to say thank you to the people who did raise the funds. Thank you to the people who shared the live. Thank you to the people who just spread the word of mouth. Thank you to all those people who participated in helping him get out of jail.
What's he doing? About $1,600 in 5 hours or so.
Yeah, so that's incredible. Thank you. So after we had gotten word of that, we had gathered up down the street right there at, what's that? That first street? At the First Street intersection. A couple people was there waiting, seeing what it was going to do. And it was a low police presence, a lot lower than it is this week. It was maybe
a lot lower?
Maybe not a lot, or maybe like cut in half. I do think it's about cut in half. So we, through the midst of walking around and seeing how they were set up, I had learned that pedestrians are allowed to be in the Rockford Register Star parking lot. And again, that's not something that was designated by the city. It's not something that the city told us we can be at. That's a place that we just took. We just went there on our own, and we took it. This is something that no one gave us the okay to do that. Then after, once we were there, it's still low. I don't think there was any real police interaction, or no police officers came up and said nothing. They just wanted to just enjoy their first city market, just try to make it the best photo ops possible. Make sure the city market went off, no arrests. That'd be great. That'd be great for them. They just wanted that story for that first city market, the big return of everybody hiding underneath the pavilion.
If you look around you and you see people that don't look like you, that's called diversity. That was the pictures that they were looking for. They were looking for a counterbalance to the gentrified lynchings that City Market has become known for. You know, that people were coming from hundreds of miles around to come and participate on both sides last year, to not only protest but to mock protesters and to bring back the blue signs and instigate confrontations with protesters.
So once there in the Register Star parking lot, stayed there till about 8. Again, low police interaction, low police movements. None really. I think we can say none. So it did go off about as smoothly, about as best as it could have gone for the first city market. And there's, how many is there in total? How many there is?
18.
There's 18. This is the second out of 18. Okay. So it's going to be a long road, long summer in fall.
It's funny to me
Go ahead.
how the city will take on one issue, right? Oh, we need more diversity at City Market. So they take on that issue, but then they want you to ignore the other issues. The whole system is corrupt, from the education to the housing to business to insurance. Everything is corrupt. Just because you're focused in on one area does not mean that the other areas shrink. They actually get bigger, because when you neglect a problem, that problem festers, that problem grows. So that's the problem that we have here in Rockville, Illinois. It's just a corrupt, orbiting, sinister system. That's all I gotta say.
It is a system that cares more about white profit than anything else. It's a system that values these white people's pockets more than they care about people getting gunned down the street by the police, or unfair housing, or unequal, or the conditions in jail. Really, the conditions in jail are absolutely horrendous. But that comes at, but the white pocket is still good. The white money is still good. Their blood money is still pouring in, so they have no incentive or no motive to make any real type of change, because as long as they can still line up their pockets, they have. Let's see, what's he doing? A little bit more active. Police a little bit more active, moving around. Is a phone charging? Is a phone charging? You know? Yeah, okay. I just don't want it to die while we still alive. You don't think so? Oh, it's not. Okay. So we might need to end this. And might end this. I'll start up again on my phone.
It's raining pretty hard.
Yeah, it is raining pretty hard. So we might move around a little bit, do something. Yeah, I think we'd be better off doing that. So we're gonna end this live. We're gonna start a new one up, and we'll start a new one up at some point in the evening.